All right. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. This is Dr. Danny, physician astrologer. Can you guys see me okay? Here we go. There we go. All right. It's been a minute since we've been live. I'm so excited for today's conversation. I have two very special guests with us today. We have Abbey Quinn and we have Niki Tennessen, the co-founders of the International Sidereal Astrology Association. They have agreed to come on and give us the download on what this organization is, how it came to be, and how it will better serve our lives. They are both modern magicians, just like all of us. They practice astrology, they want to help people, but they also want to connect to the actual sky. And so I'm just so excited to bring them here. I have just a couple of announcements for you. The biggest one, obviously, they're going to share with us, and that is the ISAA launch event, which is coming on Saturday, September 27th. It's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Yours truly is one of the keynote speakers, so I'm very excited and honored to be part of that. So the links are below. Lori's put a link in the chat for us, so please go register for that. It is a free event. Also, we just kicked off Stellar Foundations, and oh my gosh, you guys, this group is amazing. You want to talk about magicians? This is going to be an absolutely magical session. And so I'm so honored to be starting that. And I think that's all I have. We're going to be talking a little bit of astrology today as well after we get to know the girls a little bit. And we will be touching on Comet 3i Atlas, which is also very interesting. So I think that's all I really want to sort of chat about. And let's bring in Abbey and Niki and say hello to these beautiful ladies. Let us know if you can hear them okay. Say hello.
Hi,
Hey.
guys.
Hey, everyone.
Awesome.
Familiar names in the chat. Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming over to see us today. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Now, Abbey, you are in another time zone, like the other side of the world, are you not?
Yes, I'm in Yekaterinburg, Russia.
Amazing. So what it's like tomorrow so it's Wednesday for us. It's Thursday for you?
Almost. It's about 8 p.m. here, but it does make things confusing because we do the monthly forecast. We do full moon, new moon specials. And I always have the wrong date, and it's because I'm basically on the other side of the planet, so it gets confusing sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. And then Niki, you're in Central Time with me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in Central Time. Yes.
Okay. I think most people are familiar with what you guys do, but Niki, why don't you just take it away and tell everybody what you two do together, what you do separately, and then Abbey, you can jump in after Niki's done her introduction. Go ahead.
Well, Abbey and I hooked up when I wanted a ancient sidereal reading. So I found her through YouTube that was shared from through the other astrologers who were like, "Oh, check this chick out. She's super cool." I was like, I feel like I know her. I need to get a reading. And when I met her, I was like, oh man, this is cool. Like I feel like I've been looking for you for a long time.
And how
And
long
I got
ago
the
was
most
that?
this was maybe a year ago, maybe
really?
a year and a half,
It was-
almost
it's
2 years
been a
ago.
couple- it's been a few
Yeah,
years,
yeah, almost 2 years ago. Yeah, time. Neptune, Saturn time is just killing me. But anyway, I took her course. We got to get to know each other, and she was like, "Hey, I want to start this really cool podcast on YouTube. You want to be a part of it?" And I was like, scared, but I was like, "Sure, yeah. I like to be excited. I like to try new things." So yeah, and we started Myth, Magic, and More, and it's just been a lot of fun doing the lives and talking about astrology and just spreading the word and just letting people know, like, hey, mainstream astrology doesn't use the real sky. Isn't that weird? Doesn't anybody
I think it's
that's
weird.
weird?
I think it's totally weird. I don't even understand why people don't use the actual sky. It blows me away.
So it became our mission. We're like, let's just talk about it. Let's just tell people, just be casual. Like sometimes I might get a little snarky towards like the tropical stuff, but it's only because I have been obsessed with astrology since God, like since I could read a horoscope out of a TV guide.
Yeah.
I think like seriously, I was like, oh my God, they can tell you the future. I mean, I was just a kid. So, I mean, obviously, I was like, this is magic. I need to know more about this.
100%.
And became absolutely obsessed, reading all the books, starting with Linda Goodman's, Sunside book, and just going from there. It wasn't until I got older when I became a hairstylist. I was meeting lots of clients, really doing a lot of counseling behind the chair.
Of course.
It's not just about the beauty side of it. It becomes a lot about their self-esteem, their self-worth, what they have going on in their lives. I mean, it turned into this huge practice where I got to test out a lot of the astrology I was learning. And what I was learning is that it didn't match up. It was completely frustrating to me. I'm like, why are all these supposed Scorpios coming in here and they're so tame? There's no
There's no fire in them. Yeah.
Nothing's going on. I was like, what is this?
Why are all these Sagittarius so morose and angry?
Yeah,
and
yeah. Well, they're having all the fun too. Yeah. They're the ones having all the escapades and things like that. So it just kind of lined up along with Athens' launch of Mastering the Zodiac, his midpoint system. It was around 2021, maybe 2022, when we had the lockdowns, we had the COVID stuff happening, and that's when it clicked for me. I was like 3 a.m. I'm just Googling. I'm like, why does it not work? Why is it not? This is something I am obsessed with. So why isn't it? And then Google was like, well, it's because astrology uses mathematical calculations. They don't use the real sky. And that was the first time I ever knew that. I grew up in the 90s, guys. We read books. We didn't have the internet. We just had to go by what our friends were saying. And they were like, I swear to God. Then we were like, okay, maybe they're
must be true.
Yeah, I don't know.
Awesome. Well, I love you.
I love it. So, yeah.
I love your energy, Niki. Thank you so much for being here. Abbey, tell us about you. Tell us about you.
Someone said my sound was distorted. Do I sound okay? Can you guys hear me okay?
You sound great. Yeah. At least for me.
All right, just making sure. Sometimes different browsers, it gets a little wonky. All right, what am I doing? What did you ask?
Who are you? Where'd you come from? How'd you find the sky? You do a different kind of, you do ancient Sumerian astrology. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so I started actually doing psychic and medium work when I was 18. So back in 1999 or early 2000, well, right around that time period. And I got introduced to that part of culture, and I was fortunate to be around a lot of astrologers, some of them Vedic. But I got into astrology. I like Niki, I was interested. I think I was in 7th grade. And I'm like, hey, this is cool. It's not cool in Catholic school, but it's definitely interesting. I want to check it out. So I got introduced. I started studying Western astrology like everybody else. And right away, I'm like, hey, something's wrong here. What's going on? And the Vedic astrologers yeah, hey, they're not using the right placements in the sky. So I got really lucky because I went immediately into sidereal astrology, and I just I'm really big on origin myths and where do people come from, where do things come from. So I started digging into the origins of astrology. Not an easy feat because it's not information readily available. I actually had to learn the Sumerian language to start to see what was really going on, and in doing so, I mean, it opened up just a wide world of things. Just to give you
learned Sumerian?
Yes, I speak and teach Sumerian. I actually have a book coming out. It's going to be published through the ISAA. It's May You Learn Sumerian, so other people can check it out too, which is great for astrologers because there's so much additional information embedded in the actual Sumerian language.
Yeah, mythology and archetypes that you miss.
Yeah, people just don't know about it. And just a real quick example, Capricorn's one of the signs that gets kind of, that gets the short end of the stick. So in the Sumerian or Babylonian system, or basically Mesopotamian, this archetype was a goddess known as Tashmetu, and she was just love and devotion and nurturing and healing. As a matter of fact, in the Mesopotamian system, if you have strong Capricorn, you're almost guaranteed to be in some sort of healing profession. So it's just, there's things that you just never hear about, which is, it's always really cool to look into. So that's basically what I do, all ancient astrology. And then I got Niki. I don't think we talked about this yet because I was still trying to troubleshoot. But sometime I think about a year now, Niki's like, hey, wouldn't it be really cool if there was an organization, we should start some sort of sidereal astrology organization that's just, because there's nothing for us. There just isn't anything. And I'm like, I got you, because I actually did business development. I've helped. I was in tech for a while. I've done marketing. I've have like an extensive background in all of these things, and everything just came together. And it's always funny. Just before we had this conversation, I remember walking my dogs, thinking like, isn't it weird that I did all of those things and I'm just never going to use that? Like, I have no intention of ever using any of these skills ever again. And then here we are. So, yeah, it's we hit the ground running, and it's moving fast, like exponential growth already. We have a handful of founding members, Dr. Danny, you being one of them. So like it's just amazing, and we're bringing people together from all walks of life, and it's just really cool.
Yeah, that is so great. That is so great. You're a very interesting character, Abby. You remind me of Hermione Granger, but maybe like the old, like the more mature adult version of her. Like,
Yeah.
like I learned Sumerian. Like, it's hard. I put together 1,000 legal documents for this organization, and it was hard. Okay, I got this. All the computer stuff behind it too. Like it's hard.
I think it's the Virgo. I think it's a strong Virgo. Usually ends up going in one direction along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah, just a massive wealth of knowledge and experience and energy. And you too, Nick. I mean, it's really amazing that you two found each other, and I think you were destined to build this in a way. I sort of felt it kind of coming too, when I said, all right, there needs to be a program to get people to learn this and to understand it, so that they really understand the gravity, the paradoxicalness of that 13th sign, the gravity of Ophiuchus and what that means. Because so many people that have been sort of sent into the wilderness, without the knowledge of Ophiuchus, without the gnosis, they're considered crazy or insane, like the muttering street preacher, people speaking in tongues. Those people are all touched by very profound and deep Ophiuchus energy, and they never had any guidance or any way to latch on to anything. So, for me to learn Ophiuchus without like a structured space was just mind blowing and very hard. But I was like, okay, cool. I'm along for the ride. And I was like, I don't want people to have to go through it like that. I want them to go through it sort of step by step. And so the development of Stellar Foundations, kind of in a parallel track with the development of this professional organization, I feel it's really cool, because one of the things I struggled with was, people were asking me, Danny, I want to be certified by you. I want a Venus certificate. I want this. I'm like, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I don't know that I am the person to certify. I feel like it should be something that is a collective that says, okay, yes, you've gone through the program, you've done the readings, you've you've walked through the gates, and now yes, you can step into this role professionally with a certification. And my some of the things I was thinking about doing was, maybe reaching out to some of the tropical organizations and saying, hi, we're kind of a black sheep, but hey, this is, a systemized way to learn a different kind of astrology. Would you all be interested in perhaps giving us, maybe an alternative certification, and then you guys show up and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Your presence, along with what I'm doing, feels very aligned for me, and I know it does for a lot of the other people that are out here doing it. So I'm just so appreciative of you all being here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. We noticed the same thing, and that was one of the issues that I had. As I was like, okay, I know that this is my path. This is where I'm going. Like, I want to study astrology the rest of my life. And I want to help other people use astrology in the same way I have, because it has blown my mind. It has helped counsel me. It's helped counsel others. Using the real sky and aligning it up is just, it opens doors that you've never thought were possible.
100%.
Yeah. And lining up with the true sky, it gives us back our ability to prophesize, to look ahead, to see what the energies are. When you're a whole sign off, that makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. And to some tropicalists, they're like, oh, it's not. And you'll see some of the teachers not even bring up the sign. They'll just talk about the planetary interactions, and it's
In
their
the
way of
houses, yeah.
avoiding it. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, we're not talking about the real energies here. Like,
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, I like to Dr. Janie, you would know. It's basically akin to maybe doing surgery on someone, but just being like, a good 6 inches away from the actual body part you're supposed to be bringing down.
Yeah.
This is not a good idea on any level.
Niki outcast herself there.
oh, how did that happen?
I don't
was
know.
like, am I the only one? Like, I don't know. Where did you lose me at?
You were saying that how it's off, how it's a whole sign off, and then
Oh, it's
Abby was like, yeah, it's like doing surgery on the wrong organ, 6 inches away.
Absolutely. And now we have this current era where Pluto is supposedly in Aquarius, and that's just not real. That's just not what, and we need to start looking at. I feel like Pluto is a very important planet. I mean, I love the origin stories of Pluto. I fell in love with evolutionary astrology. I'm not sure I would consider myself an evolutionary astrologer, but I'm close. I'm close enough because I'm into that. I'm into the spirituality of it. I absolutely adore it. And that practice, that branch of practice, has really helped myself and my clients. So
because you're living in your truth.
much props to it. Yeah. So when we look at Pluto and we study the history of Pluto, I mean, that's basically like our little chess piece, the little main character guy that says, hey, like these are the lessons, these are the things that we're going to be doing this time around. And when you look at or Google, like, when was the last time Pluto was in Capricorn, you get the wrong dates, you get all wrong stuff. I mean, my chat bot, thank God, has been trained to just give me
So you're the
sidereal and
you're the
astrology.
second person that has mentioned a chatbot to me. I need to look
So
at that.
yeah, I'm not really sure what it is I'm doing so that I have a chatbot, but like my Google AI is like, because you study sidereal. I'm like, oh, you know that? That's weird, but okay. Like, thanks. Thanks for helping me. But now I have to use other browsers and other computers or I have to specify and say, what does tropical astrology say about this? So information is getting really weird, really, really funky. And like how we spread information and
Well,
what we're doing with it. It's really
I am a firm
interesting.
believer that the tropical astrology is the reason why we are co-creating as a collective something that's completely disconnected from the natural energies. The as above and the so below are the same exact thing. So what we're seeing in the sky is a slowed down, blowed up a million billion times of what's actually going on in our inner world. And when someone is telling you that the Lord of the underworld, the Lord of wealth, the Lord of chaos is moving through your futuristic sign, your sign of your collective, your sign of your aspirations and inspirations, we're not ready for that. We have too much gunk in Capricorn, I feel like, to get rid of, to break down, to tear down. And this may be a different interpretation with Pluto and Capricorn for you, Abby, which I'm happy for you to jump in and, say how that feels for you. Let's talk about Pluto. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So first of all, I can only speak for my experience and the Mesopotamian system, I guess, as a whole. I'll go ahead and speak for that. Why not?
Sure.
But when it comes to the outer planets, obviously there's not any hard evidence that the Mesopotamian people knew about those things. So the way I went through this, and I'm sure you guys have found this too, or at least recognize it, when they discovered some of these planets, they gave them whatever random name that they decided. And that's the associations that it got, whether or not they didn't test it. They didn't check it out first. They're just like, oh, this is what it does now. So if Pluto would have been named Santa Claus, it would be all about delivering presents and, come down the chimney. So what I did was I tracked them, the outer planets, to try to see exactly what they were doing. And what I've come up with is it's actually very similar to the current meanings, with maybe a few different exceptions. And I think we got lucky partially because a little girl got to name Pluto. I think she was 7. And I think she made an intuitive judgment there. And so
it's not random. It's not random.
No, it worked out pretty well. So my interpretation with Pluto in Capricorn, again, with Capricorn being much more of a healing and devotion planet, I think it speaks to our karmic need to start healing. We've been through a lot. With Sagittarius comes a lot of control. It comes, just like being its boss energy nonstop. And I think that that probably has been a driving force in at least Western culture, but around the world for quite some time. Not that there's anything wrong with Sagittarius, but obviously on a global level, that can be some of the more warlike, aggressive traits
Right,
can come
the
out.
dogma, do
Yes.
my way or the highway. Yeah, for sure.
Yes. So I think Pluto in Capricorn is actually calling on us to heal on an emotional and spiritual level. I think it's providing the option to do that. But like you said, if there is shrapnel in your body, you're going to get some inflammation, you're going to get pus, it's going to be nasty. You got to get that stuff out of there. So the healing process isn't always pretty, but I think it's in there for us. And I think that it's allowing us, giving us the opportunity to hopefully slide a little bit more into the divine feminine side of things for a little while. I think.
Oh, sure. Pluto definitely has some divine feminine, right?
Yeah.
Because Scorpio's feminine.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
now
in Mesopotamia
in your
too.
system. In your system, does Pluto rule a particular constellation, or because sometimes we speak of Pluto ruling Scorpio, at least in Sidereal and Western.
No, there aren't hard rulerships.
Okay.
In Babylonian, you have the precursors to Hellenistic, so they're going to be very similar, but and that's late Babylonian. But I have found a very clear correlation between Pluto and Pisces, namely the Western fish of Pisces. I think there's a lot in there. Now in the Western or in the Mesopotamian system, that was related to a goddess known as Nanshe, and she was the matron goddess of widows, orphans, the infirmed, anybody in need. She was associated with bounty, blessings, dream interpretation, psychic abilities. So very similar to the standard Pisces information that goes all the way back to probably like 4,000, 5,000 BC.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. I think I think we're definitely missing it with tropical. Did you know that tropical has only been around for a little while? It's actually not something that was ancient at all.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah, it's
No.
I actually found this out through Archaics, because he's a historian and a chronologer. I know you don't have a nice it rubs you the wrong way a little bit. It rubs a lot of people the wrong way, but what he opened my eyes to, and what other people have been talking about, is this whole concept of like astrotheology. Like, if you literally take the tropical zodiac and go through the Bible, you will be able to decode the Bible, because every other line has a reference to something in the tropical wheel. And they came around right around the same time. So the Old and the New Testament were written the same time that tropical astrology was started. It's almost as if, okay, well, we're going to control you, so you can either go this way through the religious realm, or you can go this way through your out of the sky astrology. It's no longer part of the sky. It's just a mathematical construct. And we will have good and evil, and you will play the game with us for the next 2,000 years.
It's not just the New Testament. The Old Testament is
too.
full of astrological references. I mean, that was just
It's not even that old. It's not even that old.
Right.
The Old Testament, right? It was written.
Yeah, the Old Testament goes back to about 600, 500 BC is when it really started to get written down.
Amazing. And this astrology that you're tapping into is century or millennia before that.
Well, I suspect that it's probably pre-Diluvian. I have very little. I have some evidence of that, and I think that the sites that go Göbekli Tepe kind of confirm that. There's definitely astrological references that are very similar to what we find in Mesopotamia. But I mean, it's scant evidence, obviously. But at a minimum, it goes back to at least the Uruk period. So again, like 5,000 BC.
Yeah. So the point is, astrology itself, the practice of astrology and astronomy, which used to be one sacred science. I'm endeavoring to pull them back together into one sacred science, because I love astronomy. I think it's amazing. If you're watching the sky, you're connected. Astronomy and astrology were the first science, I think. Right?
Yes.
Agriculture, arithmetic, architecture, medicine, physics. It all came from watching the movements of the stars, because you can't have physics without time, without the measurement of time and measuring the distance between the when, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, this is amazing.
Hey,
Yeah,
can I just say
really,
something, Dr.
yeah,
Danny?
sure.
Sorry, I don't know if I'm supposed to be paying attention to what's going on in the comments.
Oh, let me see.
A1 says something about archaics and data. JB did great work, takes dedication. I just want you guys to know, I legit speak Sumerian. And this is not to, I've gone through a lot of his videos. We've had debates on the topic, and he gets a lot wrong, like so much, like, and it's kind of a stretch. So if you guys are interested, Nikki and I were on we have a, I don't know, it's like 2 hours. Was it Nikki? Oh, it was me and Fry and Prezzel. But I think we went through it too. It needs a lot more work, you guys. So just don't take anything at face value. Like, do your own research. Don't listen to me either. Like, do your own research. You know, don't listen to anybody. You gotta figure this stuff out. Like, it's out there though if you start digging.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, not to disparage anyone. I know
Right.
I know he does a lot of work in his research and is very dedicated to what he does, as we all are.
Right.
But I think the three of us here are more willing to hear opposing opinions.
Yes. Yeah, they're good. It's good
than the
to
person
be,
in question. You know, like
yeah,
you should be able
absolutely.
to like hear differing opinions and make sense of that, rather than just
Yes.
completely dismiss people and say, nope, you're wrong, I'm right. So anyway, but you know, we all move through the world a little bit differently.
Yes.
But yeah, my whole point is that yes, astrology is ancient. It is the progenitor science of all things. They should be one science. They should not be separated. A lot of people also ask me, well, why does tropical actually resonate with me so much? You know, and I'm like, there's a lot of reasons why it resonates, right? I mean, they get the moon phases right. So the phase of the moon is very important. New moon, full moon, eclipses, all of that. That is so important. That energy will give you an emotional foundation for how you move through the world. They get the aspects correct, right? Like a trine is a trine. You know, it doesn't matter where you say it is, but a trine is a trine. And that is certainly a big part of what we do and what we read. But it's the backdrop, the map behind it that's incorrect. And I don't really understand why we can't actually look out there at the stars and read it. Like, why is this so hard? Why is this like a leap of knowledge and faith and understanding? It doesn't change anything. You can still do Western astrology in the actual sky. That's what I do. That's what you do, right, Nikki?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
you take the modern interpretations and you pull them in, because these modern interpretations, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Abbey, they're pulled from the basic set of archetypes that as a consciousness we all have, right? We all have.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you're gonna speak, but I feel like the constellations over time, we have developed layered meanings. And I've looked at Gemini recently because that's where Pluto was discovered. So sorry, I got off on the Pluto, rant there, but it's only because that's what I've been deep diving into. And Gemini was originally associated with Mars, with Nergal, with, the two soldiers were the guardians of the gates of the underworld, and as astrology moved on, it became more mercurial. It became more about the mind and more about, your education and language and all of this other stuff, and less
Symbols,
about
yeah.
the warlike traits that we saw, that the ancients saw in Gemini. It was kind of a bad omen to see planets near Gemini at one time. So like I'm decided I want to relearn all of these meanings, because we know the modern interpretations. I want to know, what did the prehistoric people, what did the Sumerians, what did everybody before 2,000 years ago, and everybody decided what it is the whole population of the planet was going to do, what were they doing before then? What did they say?
Mhm.
So that's, I like to take in all of the information and see what fits, what applies. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool because you do find layered meanings. It's awesome. But yeah, I'm sorry. What were you going to say, Abby?
No, I think, I agree with you about the layered meanings. So here's my theory. Okay, so just real quick, what happened when the Greeks got a hold of what essentially was at that time Persian information? They got all their Babylonian astrology from the Persian Empire. They took a lot of what was already out there, and like I said, classical Hellenistic techniques they evolved out of Babylonian practice. We know that now; it's not even up for debate.
And they work in True Sky too, by the way.
Yeah,
it's
they
amazing.
do. But what happened was the Greeks, their philosophy was very rigid, and they were, and to credit them, they were doing exactly what we should do. They were trying to understand the nature of the universe, and in doing so, they created this very rigid system based on the elements and the modalities in the planetary rulerships, which they attributed, there's a whole reasoning behind it. I definitely won't go into all of it because it's a whole big conversation. But most of the current pop culture meanings are based on those archetypes. Now, there is overlap with the ancient meanings. There's overlap with the evolutionary meanings, with the Vedic meanings. There's overlap in all of these, which I think goes back to what you were saying, Dr. Danny, about why is it that some people resonate with tropical? Well, there is overlap. Your sun, wherever your sun's at, your Venus and your Mercury is going to be pretty close to that. So your odds of getting a planet in one of those nearby constellations, you're still going to have some of that energy. So I think that's probably at least part of the reason why some people still feel connected to it. But when you part of the issue is a lot of the Western, the classical models, those archetypes, hermeticists along the way, because astrology was up until maybe like the 1700s, that was a part of modern medicine. That was a part of regular science.
Yeah.
It wasn't strange.
You had to do astrology to get into medicine. If you wanted to be accepted to medical school, you had to prove that you knew astrology.
Exactly. And it's only been the last few hundred years that we've kind of taken that back out. But in doing that, there wasn't a lot of flexibility. There wasn't a lot of nuance allowed in the system. But I think with modern astrology, and to all modern astrologers' credit who do this, we haven't really taken things at face value. We've gone through and, we're like, well, let's look at this a different way. Maybe it's not just about the element and modality. Maybe there's something karmic in here. Maybe there's a deeper spiritual or healing journey that, we can look at. And I think what differentiates a great astrologer from kind of, just everybody else is they actually don't take things at anybody's word. And they track, they explore, they talk to their clients, they ask questions, and you end up getting a much deeper feel for the true archetype that is beneath all of the pop culture. What does somebody call it? They called it Starbucks astrology, I think is what somebody called it. And so there's way more to it than just those, just the regular archetypes.
Yeah, I agree. And we're finding all of those really cool layered meanings, and when we study history, the correct dates of history and where the planets actually were, we can see that it was humanity's reflecting those energies back, to us. We can see that it's clearly not a sign off. To me, I almost get a bit turn into a bit of a conspiracy theorist. Why have we
because it's
so
a billion,
far off?
It's a $1 billion industry. It's
Absolutely.
$1 billion industry. There's so much money in tropical astrology that people, they've got it so good, man. They can't, if they went the other way, they feel like they would lose a lot. But I don't think that they would. I think that they would actually serve their clients and their followers so much better. And some people have done that. I think a lot more people are doing it, which I love to watch. I love, I get emails from time to time, probably maybe once, twice, 3 times a month, where somebody's like, oh my God, you have to help me. I'm crashing in. I was this and now I'm this and I don't understand. And what's happening? Help me, Dr. Danny. And then they're like, my friend for life, because I've shown them, just one person at a time, lighting them up and letting them explore their true self through the sky. So it's awesome. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
I love that eye awakening moment. Like most of the clients I've had didn't even know that I do real sky astrology. They're like, what are you talking about? How do you know that?" And they, like,
I'm not really a Cancer sun, no.
yeah,
Oh, wait, maybe I am.
yeah, well, because all of the negativity that, pop culture has, because astrology got a little weird, let's be honest. It got all like, less about like the magic and the beauty, and it became more about like a parlor trick,
Yeah,
like, oh, I know
yeah.
your personality because you're an Aries sun,
Yeah, yeah. So much deeper than that, so
Yeah,
much
it's
deeper
so
than that.
much more deeper than that. And I think it gives I think people definitely need to feel like they were put here on this earth on purpose, because you were. And when we feel disconnected from nature, we feel disconnected from ourselves, our souls, like all of that stuff. We crash out, and unfortunately, those are the folks that we see. They're crashing out. They're like, why is my life like this? What is going on? Why can't I seem to make this work or that work? My relationships suck, or whatever their issue is. We can take a look at their real true sky chart and reflect back to them what it is they're actually going through. Talk to them a little bit about how their personality operates. What emotional turbulences, let's look at your nodes, let's see what your lessons are, and let's see how it's playing out in real life right now.
Mhm.
Those are huge clues for people, to work with. It's not telling somebody, hey, you're like this and this is what you're supposed to do. It's actually discussing that, having that conversation about their life, about them. As the practitioner, we get,
It's an I see you moment. I
yeah,
and when someone hears "I see you,"
yeah.
that is so incredible. Like, the first time I had a reading like this, I experienced, like, a physical change. Like, I felt like this shaking in my heart, like, in my rib cage, in my chest, and it was like I was, like, cracking open. I could literally feel it in my body. It was so amazing. It was so amazing.
The first evolutionary astrology reading I had ever had was with Michael Hardigan at One Sky.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, all right, I'm gonna listen to this, and maybe this is true. Maybe. I was like, oh my God, this resonates. So it kind of freaked me out a little bit too. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I had to do my own digging. I had to do because I'm just a weird person where I'm just like not gonna just take it and be like, okay, that's it. But I just blew me away. It was probably weeks after I'd gotten the reading, and I'm like, wow, like the house system he used, I was like, this is me. Oh my God. I'm reading the books. I'm like looking at all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my God. I feel seen. I feel known. It felt good. It
Yeah.
felt so good after the initial shock wore off. I'm like, oh my God, this is my path. This is what I'm doing. This is so real.
Yeah,
And
my whole life changed. I mean, everything changed. My husband stuck around, which was great, but my job changed, the way my house looks changed. I mean, I literally went through a phase where we realized that the underneath of my house was full of holes, and we had to move out for 3 months while a crew came in and dug 20 six-foot holes all throughout my house. I mean, you wanna talk about
that's
Pluto transformation, right? Like, I was like
yeah. Are you
I was
going through a Pluto square right now? What's
no,
going on?
this was, like, almost 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But, a whole new floor, like, a year before that, we got a whole new roof. So it's like everything, like, it changed inside, and then it rippled outward like a tidal wave,
Whole
and
foundation,
everything else changed, yeah. So,
everything.
I used to go to my job, I used to do what I had to do, and then I would go surfing after work or on the
Well, that sounds
weekends, and
amazing.
I minded my own business, and then things were just not right, things were just weird, and so then astrology crept in, plus as a physician, you notice the physical cycles of humans and the emotional cycles of humans. So I noticed there's energy with the moon, I noticed there was energy with Mercury retrograde, I noticed that the time of the day also had a lot to do with when people have their babies. Also, lunar cycle plays into your ability to conceive, when your actual due date is. So for me, it was just sort of natural to start studying it. And then when it hit me that I was not a Cancer, that I was, or not a Leo, but I was a Cancer sun, it became my mission to fix it. To like, I have to fix this for people so that they are not in the wrong alignment. And so then I had to like go through all this past life stuff and like, why can't I speak out loud? And why am I afraid to show myself on camera? Like I was shy. I'm so shy. So for me to be doing this was completely because of the constellational astrology. So yeah.
No, I
Life
had
builder.
that same kind of that same kind of thing happened to me. It was just mind blowing where I'm like, oh my God, I gotta tell everybody. I gotta tell everyone. And of course I'm a Leo rising, so I'm like talking with my hands and I'm just like overexcited. I'm telling like literally strangers on the street. I'm talking to them about it.
Leo risings are beautiful. I love Leo rising.
Yeah, I try not to be so dramatic, but it slips out sometimes.
What do you think, Abby?
About life in general, or
about anything that we've just talked about?
I mean, obviously it's life-changing, earth-shattering. Like I said, I got lucky because I got to see right out of the gate that something was amiss. I wish more people were interested. To piggyback on what you were saying, Dr. Danny, about 10 years ago, I started writing more about sidereal astrology. And there really weren't, I think Athan Chimenti's Mastering the Zodiac, he was like one of the only sites. I think Kenneth Bowser, his site was out at the time. There just really wasn't a lot out there. And when I would get people who were doing readings, nobody knew what sidereal astrology was. Nobody knew. They're like, what is this? I thought I got this reading. What are you telling me? Something that's completely different. They were happy with the reading and everything. But over the last, what do we want to say, 10, 11 years now, I've noticed a massive shift. I probably maybe half the people now that come to me at least know what sidereal astrology is, which is a huge accomplishment, so I think every voice out there matters. Anybody who can it needs to, I'm fully on board with what you said. I personally believe that you can't take the spirituality out of science. I think that's really part of the reason that we're in the state that we are now. I think that the deeper philosophy and mysticism embedded in the sky, it is a natural part of how it's meant to be read in the first place. And when you bring it together like that, it changes everything. It's a completely different, you're in a different universe. You're in a different dimension at that point. And I do think any voice who can stand up, even if it's just you make one video and somebody comes across and find it, I think it's great. I think it's we all need to put more information out there.
Yeah, and encourage each other, to
Absolutely.
make the videos, say the thing, post the stuff,
There
write
are
the blog.
billions of people out there
Yeah.
waiting to hear about this.
Yeah.
Because they're living, in a lack of knowledge. I have found that I get mostly positive feedback. I get some kind of every now and then I'll get somebody who will pray for my soul or quote me some Bible
It
verses.
happens. Yeah.
I actually just had that this week.
And I just,
like,
you know
oh
what?
my
I just heart
God.
them because
love
they're
it. Yeah.
they're afraid for me. They care about me enough to say
Yeah.
that. Like, so I'm like, all right, that comes from their genuine space. But I'm like, well, why are you watching an astrology video? in the
Yeah.
first place? But at any rate, I also get a lot of people that will correct me, like tropical astrologers, to be like, oh my gosh, you got it wrong, Danny. All that work.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Aw.
I'm like, well, thank you for bringing that up because you were referring to a different system, but I appreciate you.
Yeah, that is so cute. I love that. Hey, guess what? It's not.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. So I appreciate that sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't like people that come in there and that are like rude or angry or insult me as a person.
Yeah,
That's not okay with me. Like I don't care. Like I'm living my life. I don't care what you do or what you think. You don't have to believe what I say. You don't have to come to my channel. You don't have to read what I
yeah.
write. You don't have to listen to a single thing I say. It's completely up to you. So that's kind of where I stand in that regard. And I feel like when you come from a place of joy, spreading your light, spreading your knowledge, that you're more likely to impact people than if you're like in their face yelling at them and saying, no, you're wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about that with the starting the ISAA. Most of us all started out as tropical astrologers.
Mhm.
You know, so there's no hate there, even though God, you've heard me spew it, but it's not towards the actual practitioners.
Mm-mm.
It's towards the actual practice. It's lost its alignment. It just doesn't work. And trust me, guys, trust me. Okay. Look at me. I've been through it. All right. I have used it. I have tried to apply it. There is nothing about tropical astrology that is useful, that you should be at all. I just don't think it should be used at all. I
Again, it
don't.
goes back
I
to
just think it just needs to be extinguished already.
Dr.
I find
Danny. Are you
zero.
familiar with the humors, the 4 humors?
Oh
in
yeah,
medicine?
the bile and the phlegm and the
Yeah, it'd be like going back to that. Like it's completely
It's
not a good idea.
yeah. Would you like some leeches
Yeah.
with your coffee?
Yeah.
The poor person's like, well, if that'll help.
Oh yeah, I love history of medicine too. There's some crazy things that they used to do in medicine. My goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my
My
God. The
goodness.
way
I don't even know if it's appropriate to talk about it, but
Some of
the
them
way they
no,
used to
some
deliver
of them are not.
babies, all of it. I'm like, what?
especially in the world of women's health and obstetrics and gynecology.
Like the wandering womb.
Oh yeah, the womb used to wander around our body and make us hysterical, which is why
Yeah.
they call it a hysterectomy.
I don't know. I think we should revisit that. It's possible.
Yeah.
Another fun practice that they used to do, and if this offends anybody, I'm sorry, but I find it absolutely hilarious, is that, and I don't even remember what time frame this was, but women would go to their doctor and they would have a device that they would crank, and it would vibrate for them, so that it would
Yes.
alleviate their stress.
That is the first
You put that so politely. I love it.
yes, the electric vibrator was touted as a medical miracle at the time because it helped with the
Fixed all her problems.
Oh my God, does that mean
internal
my-
massage.
That's
Are
right. that's right.
vibrators HSA covered then?
They should
Just
be.
kidding. They should be.
If you need a note from your doctor,
Does
I'll get you.
HSA, right? Get the most
Oh,
fanciest one then.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's funny. And the first obstetricians were actually barbers.
Yes, I read
Oh, I
about
didn't know
that.
that.
Just being in beauty.
Yeah, they just were in beauty, and
They trusted us to rip your teeth out and all.
Mhm.
You cut their
What?
hair and you did their dentistry.
I had
and
no
you
idea.
did a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
History of medicine's interesting. So yeah, I get what you're saying about it would be sort of like going backwards to sort of stick with, but I use them as a base of knowledge because it is
Yes.
one of the most vast and deep areas of study you will ever endeavor to go into. You will never be able to finish studying everything that is available for astrology.
Oh,
You just
no.
can't. So I use it as a base of knowledge, and I'm grateful that it's there because how in the world would we know what
Absolutely.
we know if it wasn't there? And so I appreciate them keeping the secret and holding on to
Yeah.
it for 2,000 years. But it's time to it's time to do new medicine. It's time to
Yeah,
get
I
into
agree.
the modern world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's so many layers of astrology we haven't uncovered yet. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
there's so many things that that have been buried that we don't really know all of what the ancients knew. We don't really have all of the information. We've just lost it all. And we can see we're kind of in a middle of a big information war.
I guess we are, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, when Pluto was transiting through Sagittarius, we kind of saw it. We saw the rise of the internet. We saw, all of that communication stuff happening. Espionage and spying, and now we're stealing your
Right.
data, your information.
Right. Blind trust is no
Yeah.
longer available after Pluto transits through Sagittarius. You can't have blind trust. You can't believe in your church. You can't believe in your school. You can't even believe in your parents or family sometimes.
Yeah, he's purging all of that
Right.
stuff
Big
out.
government, global infrastructure. No,
Yeah.
you're much more discerning of it now because of what Pluto's done through
Right.
that. And I think what we're going to do in Capricorn is destroy the things that aren't serving us.
Absolutely.
So yeah, say goodbye to big schools, say goodbye to big astrology, say goodbye to big government,
Yeah.
big healthcare, all of it. People don't trust medicine anymore.
No, they don't. They don't.
Yeah.
I've had nothing but issues myself. And it's not that I don't trust medicine. That's what you do for a living. Like I absolutely trust somebody who knows the human body. But with the issues that I've had, which are mysterious or whatever, I didn't find a doctor that could help me. They were just kind of like, we don't
Yeah,
really
here's this
know.
pill and take
Like,
this
yeah,
and
and
you'll
that
feel
was
better.
it. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was it. And I'm a root cause therapy kind of person. Like I want to know what it is that's really going on. And it's
That's
funny.
the source of your disease. It actually
Yeah.
is. Yeah. I would say 100 times a day, you need to eat right, you need to sleep right, you need time for self-reflection, prayer, meditation. If you do those 3 things, everything will start changing for you.
Yeah.
But I would say it over and over and over and over
And
and
nobody
over, and
listens.
nobody listens.
No, because we want magic. We just want
Mhm.
that to happen. I was that person. I was like, I don't want to work. I don't want to like have to figure this out. I know everybody else feels the same way. They're like, oh, is there an easy button? You know?
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Well,
there's
nope,
not. It
nope, but
doesn't
there is a fun
exist.
ride, a fun journey for
Yeah.
sure. Do you guys
Oh,
wanna
we
talk a
learned a
little
lot.
bit of comet astrology before we,
Yeah.
finish off? Because personally, I feel like comets are a freaking big deal, okay? They literally ended the lives of astrologers when a comet showed up because it's something that's unpredictable, and it also sometimes predicted the changing of the guard. Right? Like, the
Yeah.
changing
Yeah. The big
of whoever the king was or the religious leader when they couldn't predict the comet, well, the younger astrologers were like, "Well, I knew it was coming, so you should listen to me now."
I love that. Astrologers were the most powerful people
Mhm.
on the planet. So why wouldn't, we want to quiet that out? Why wouldn't the powers that be want to just, bury that?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Alright.
interesting. I really love the information.
Alright, let's do it. I'm gonna share, and we are gonna go to, let's see, I'll do the whole entire screen here. There we go, share. And that's sharing. Okay, cool. The best place to view it that I have seen is going to be the Sky Live. Can you guys see me okay with the screen?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm gonna hide that. And what's cool about let's take out all these extra comets because these are always there. We always have little comets orbiting in and out of our solar system. And let's put in the 3i atlas. We can do that by searching for it. 3i. 3i. And so this would be sort of the solar system view. Nikki, you asked me where it was and how close it was to Mars.
Yeah,
It's pretty
yeah.
close. A few more days, a couple more weeks, and it'll be right there. And then probably by the end of September, it will disappear behind the sun. Because if we look at the clock here and we go by day, by this point, we won't even be able to see it anymore. So, yeah, October, it'll be invisible.
Now, what is
Mm-hmm.
the trajectory after that?
So this purple
Nikki,
line.
I don't get echo. Hey.
So yeah, so this is the trajectory, this purple line. So it's coming in from the galaxy, at least from Earth's perspective, and then it's leaving out the other side where the outer galactic bands are. So I think that's very interesting. It's also on this. If you looked at the other comets that we had, you notice that they kind of come in and swoop into the solar system like this. They come at odd angles to the ecliptic, and this one is actually following our ecliptic. For a comet to be like right here along the plane of our soul's ecliptic that we see from Earth is really literally quite amazing. It's really rare. The chances of it happening are less than 0.005%, which is huge. Like, okay, so there's that. And then it's also very large in size. It's 41 kilometers in diameter, and its halo is half the size of the sun. So this is kind of a big deal, what we're dealing with here. If you want to look at it from an astrologer's perspective, then you just go to this menu here and you click on star maps, and then you will get the night sky, and you can do the same exact thing. You can just go ahead and search for 3i. 3i, and there's the comet, and bam, it's right there. Let me adjust the time so it looks easier to see. We'll go to afternoon. Here we go. So there it is. I don't know what constellation that looks like to you, but that sure looks to me like Libra, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So it's in Libra. And then, so if we watch the track of it over the next several days, it's going to leave Libra, enter Virgo right around the eclipse. Then it's going to conjunct Mars on the 1st of October. It's going to conjunct Mercury. This whole time frame here in early October is right around the full moon as well. So a lot of energy with that. And then it's perihelion, and its conjunction with the sun is October 19th. And then it will make an approach to Venus right here. And then once it is done with Virgo, let me back the time up a little bit. It's going to be more of a morning phenomenon now as it passes this side of the sun. So it'll be like the morning star, the morning Mercury. You should be able to see it in your telescopes by this time. Early morning. So you'd have to get up early in the morning to see it before the sun rises. So it's moving through Virgo because this is the constellation of Virgo right here. And that's why its tail's pointing away from the sun. And check this out. So we'll be able to really see it very well, very brightly, early December. And that's precisely when it transits into Leo, which for the cosmology of the cosmic hero's journey is the birth. It's the coming out from the womb and into the world. That's what it kind of means for me. So I love that this is happening because this is the story that I write in the 13th sign, the book of the Ophiuchus and the astrology they don't want you to see. This is the path a soul takes. And so now this is the birthing point. The beginning of Virgo is the conception and the end of Virgo is the birth. And so now we're in Leo and we can see it, and it's going to spend the rest of the winter just kind of going through the rest of the signs. So there's Cancer right there. And then there is Gemini right there. You can see Gemini. It'll pass by Jupiter in March. And then it will basically kind of stall in its path from our view because it'll be going straight away from us instead of approaching us or going across the ecliptic. So that's the comet's journey. And Abby, I'm so excited to hear from you about what you think about what this means with your Babylonian astrology, because imagine we were Babylonians and we saw this comet coming along our ecliptic. Now, I know we can't see it with our naked eye. I don't think we'll be able to actually, but we can see it. We have the tools to see it. So I think it's our responsibility to interpret it. So I'd love your thoughts.
Well, there's a giant echo. I think it's the program.
Is it?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Niki's got one too.
I think I fixed it.
No, you didn't.
It doesn't sound too bad to me. I'm not having trouble hearing it. Let me
Is anybody else out there? I'll talk over it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and just talk over. I mean, it's fine for me unless it's really bad. For
Okay. Nobody's saying anything that so hopefully they don't hear it. I'm about to underwhelm you with.
Yeah. What do you? Are you there? What happened?
Oh no, we must have lost her.
Oh, there she is. She's coming back in again. Okay, there she goes.
Yeah.
All right. Let me take the. Yeah, there we go. Okay, how's that sound? You sound better to me. Yeah, you sound better to me. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, like you said, when the comet appeared, nobody really knew it was coming. So they didn't really know what to do in Babylon in one of those situations. They would tell the other. They would panic, obviously, and they would have to run and talk to all of the other astrologers. They would write letters to them. We do have records of things like this. We have a few very, very minimal records, clay tablets, where they do have evidence of some celestial body moving into the solar system or moving back out. But there's not a lot of information, generally speaking, in Babylon in particular. And we don't have any, as far as I'm aware, any records from ancient Sumer. But as far as the Babylonian side, a comet would not have been a good thing. They probably would have anything unusual would have been bad. So they would have done all kinds of rituals to kind of negate any of the negative effects. They'd have made the king, stay in and take a bath, or, I don't know, what kind of weird stuff. Beat a drum, eat a sheep's liver, who knows? So there's not I'm definitely not the go-to person for this, because I'm much more curious to hear what you or Niki would have to say on this.
Well, you're the only person I know that knows this ancient astrology. I feel like it's a good omen. I really
Okay.
do. The people that are talking about it right now, what I've noticed, because sometimes I like to just watch in general what people are saying, and so I just kind of absorb it all, and I'm like, all right, this is what it feels like for everyone based on hearing the different silos and how they're interpreting the comet. Obviously, I've got my interpretation that the healer's cosmic journey, you descend through Scorpio, you become the fallen angel in Scorpio as a soul. And Libra is that hall of records, the hall of Ma'at, where you balance your heart against the feather. Black Moon Lilith is also here. So it's literally the suppressed, banished, creative force that is this comet is highlighting right now, being in Libra. And it's pulling that energy of banishment. It's pulling the shadows into the light so that they can be weighed and discerned and understood. I feel like what a soul does here is it looks through that book of life, those Akashic records. It looks at the dials of time, and it decides, okay, I'm going to be born here to these parents. I'm going to have, this is my astrology. This is what my path will look like. This is my code. You basically dial in your code here as a soul. And then as you move through Libra, you can, as a soul, visit your new family, take care of, sort of soul level issues while you're here, and being able to see the full perspective. And then you begin embodiment via your mother's gestation as you move into Virgo. So this is the pregnancy. So at the very feet of Virgo begins the gestation of this cosmic seed. It's almost as if it's some foreign sperm, DNA, cosmic code, vibration, resonance that's literally coming into our solar system and giving us new information that we've never seen, heard, felt, tasted, experienced before. And it's being born or developed through this cosmic healer's soul's journey. And so I'm just super excited that it's all sort of, it'll be hidden while it's in Virgo, because in the gestation it's hidden. We can't see it. It'll be behind the sun. And so these are the themes that I'm working with when I'm looking at this comet. Now, for other people, like some friends that I have, David and Bella of Quantum Planet World, they're looking at this comet. They're looking at phi cycles. They're looking at Fibonacci. They're looking at Mayan astrology, and they're noticing a convergence of timelines based on phi. So the Backtune calendar is converging around October 14th, which is when this comet will be in Virgo. The one, I think it's 16,000 days, or it might be 160,000 days. Anyway, the string of the digits looks like phi, 1.618, except it's a larger number. And it's the number of days between when the Gregorian calendar was started and the date of October 15th is literally that golden phi number. So there's two timelines converging here. All the ancient astronaut theorists are saying this is the Anunnaki ship. So it's almost as if this comet is becoming sort of the thing that affirms you, that affirms what you're doing. And at least that's how I'm seeing it, because for Dr. Danny's world, this comet's coming right through my cosmic healer's journey. It's showing me, it's giving me a sign, an omen that this fated path is how we do it down here as souls. And so now I'm convinced, because, it came to me through a download, through fasting. I wrote the book. It's been very well received. And now this comet is doing it, and I'm teaching it. So for me, there's a huge synchronicity. I don't know. What do you think, Abby?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I like that.
Yeah, I think that's super awesome. I'm one of those people that really hopes it's a spaceship. I know. Well, look at like how we've uncovered all of these deep, dark secrets, and maybe we'll actually uncover the origins of the human race. Yeah, we don't really know. There's been a lot of talk about aliens and different types of things. And I don't want to get too weird about it or crazy about it, but I mean, we do know that there are other intelligences out there. We do know that humanity is just so very special. We're the only ones just chilling here on this glowing blue rock that's just beautiful, and what we're doing here is so very special. So personally, I just hope we get some really cool alien stuff out of it.
I'm hoping that too. I hope it stops. I hope it gets to the inner
you hope it slows down, lands on Mars.
yeah, and just makes us all sweat. Like, what is this? What is going on? I don't think it's Anunnaki, but I mean,
definitely not the Anunnaki. It's definitely not.
There are people, guys, who don't even know this comet's coming. They're totally unaware of it. They have no idea it's here.
Yeah.
And yet,
Yeah.
they'll still be affected by it, which is so interesting.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's so weird how it was introduced, because when I did see the comet introduced it was this Harvard professor thinks it's a spaceship because
Oh,
it came out
Ophiuchus,
of,
yeah.
yeah, because of where it came from. It came out of the galactic center, appeared to come from the galactic center. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. And there have been other hints dropped in mainstream news and things like that. So I'm like, well, I don't know, but it's definitely interesting, and I'm paying attention.
Good.
Um,
And the more people that I can get to stare. Now, I have actually I watch a channel called Dobsonian Power. He's an amateur astronomer in Portugal, and what he's been doing every night is tuning into the comet, like pointing his telescope at it so he can see it. So I know that it is in this place because he's identifying it. So there are people out there that will actually tell you that this comet isn't even real, that it is a ruse, that it is some sort of like, some kind of like false flag to get us looking over here while something over here happens. So again, I think this thing is interesting. It's amazing. Whatever it is, it's getting the attention of human beings in one form or fashion to
yeah.
look at the sky. And I love that. I think we need to keep doing that.
Yeah, it's getting people to look up. They need to
Yeah.
look up, look up,
Yeah.
look at where the moon is when you're being told the moon is full in Pisces, when we just had that full moon in Aquarius, that total lunar eclipse. So
I'd be so embarrassed. I just
Like,
can't even imagine.
I got it all wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's actually look at Stellarium. I know we both like looking at this just to get our this is another tool you guys can use if you're new to the channel, if you're new to this kind of astrology and you want to see the sky. Stellarium-web.org. The web-based version will not put the comet on here for you. I can't find it yet. But you know where it is if you go to the true sky. So we can take out the atmosphere and we can see where the sun and everything is right now. If you guys want to kind of peek at that. So we have the sun about to enter into Virgo right now, right? So this comet and the sun are going to meet in the belly of Virgo.
That is very,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least from our perspective on Earth, So
Uh-huh.
I just think that's very, very interesting as we move through time here. Yeah, right through as we get into mid-October.
Virgo was
Right here.
originally a birth goddess. She was a couple different birth goddesses. That was her whole thing, was childbirth, pregnancy.
Oh, that's absolutely how I see her.
Yeah.
She is the archetype that needs to have that high level of intelligence, that mercurial intelligence, but at the same time is very divine feminine. So it's about understanding the code of the universe underneath, like the numerology, the astrology, the golden ratio, all of those constants that sort of just keep everything in working order. That is part of the mastery and the intelligence of Virgo. And so she is responsible for bringing matter into energy. And also, the dark side of Virgo is the energy back into matter, cleaning up the clutter, letting the thing die with integrity, right? So if you're going in reverse of the cosmic healer's journey, which is the counterclockwise direction, the journey the sun travels, this is actually the pathway of going back into the quote unquote underworld as you go from the head to the feet of Virgo. As we move clockwise, it's the opposite. It's the entering in through the bottom and then being birthed through the crown and into the childhood space of Leo. So this is the time of year, at least in the northern hemisphere, from Spica to the galactic center, where we're going into the burned path. This is the path that the sun takes, where it goes from its equinox to its solstice, to its winter solstice. So we're watching literally the sun die as it transits through Virgo, and the light gets lower and lower and lower in the sky, at least for our northern hemisphere brothers and sisters. In the south, you're getting more and more sun. You're getting more of an intensity, at least in Australia and southern South America. What are your thoughts on those?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I've had a number of people tell me about I haven't gotten a reading with Dr. Danny, full disclosure, but I've had so many people tell me, because I actually read clockwise. And so cool. You're one of the few people out there that does too. And I see a lot of overlap in what you're describing with what originally went down in, thousands of years ago. So it's interesting.
That is interesting because when I thought about this path, there was no historical reference associated with it.
Hey, don't feel bad.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's hard to dig this stuff out. They bury it as best they can.
No, it was I mean, I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to raise my hand and say it was channeled. It just came to me and it made
Yeah.
perfect sense and it felt so aligned with the journey that I myself am experiencing. And it helped me speak astrology to people.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I have this underlying framework, when I see what they have chosen to go through karmically in their chart with where their stars and their sun and their moon and their Jupiter and all of their planets are, then I can talk to them on a soul level. I can say, okay, this is what your soul wanted you to do. And if you're on board with that, here's how that's going to manifest for you. And it's going to be really good. Like if you're living your code, you're going to be living in flow. You're going to be a happier person.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
if you look at the earliest astrologers and astronomers that we have on record, they actually had entire convents full of priestesses, and that's all they did was track the sky and give their insight, their feedback. And the oldest astrologer that we have on record is a goddess Nisaba. She was associated with grain and very much related to Virgo, by the way.
Yeah.
But this is relevant because one of the ways that they would have gotten their information was through essentially channeling. They would have used their intuition. At that point, they didn't have just documents upon documents like the Babylonians that they could go and reference when a planet was, in a particular position or whatever was going on in the sky. And so it very much was a priesthood or priestesshood, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
early on. And, most of the evidence, if you look at how astral divination is done or any type of divination is done in other cultures, a lot of it is just channeled. So I think there's been some, and I'm not sure if you're aware of this, some, I won't name names, some astrological organizations have really come down hard over the years about intuitive astrology. I think that is
that's a mistake.
A huge mistake because it's such an important part of and I don't know, maybe you've seen this too. I think Niki would agree with me. I found that when somebody is listening to their intuition, they will, somebody was talking about the echo in the chat. You'll find that it lines up very well with what's going on in their natal chart, their solar return, all of their transits. They tend to move in line with what's happening with the sky. When people are going against the current, that's usually when they're just doing it all. They're doing it all backwards.
Right.
So I think that our intuition and our spiritual currents are just naturally a part of the sky for all the reasons that we already mentioned. I think it's really important that we use that as a tool of understanding. And that is originally what it was for. In Mesopotamia and Sumer, they literally believed that the constellations were signs and the planets were the gods, the embodiments of the gods, the wandering planets moving through to try to give us messages for our lives. Like that was the whole purpose for our own personal understanding. And I think, again, that's what makes a great astrologer is being able to tune into those things.
Absolutely. That's one of the biggest things that I teach in my astrology class, because you come to astrology and you think the way you're going to be a master astrologer is by learning it and memorizing it. When I don't think that that's the case. I think that you can not memorize all of it, but if you can intuit from it, you're going to be a better astrologer. And the more knowledge that you learn, the more and more you can add to your arsenal. And so what I teach is learning how to trust your voice, right? Start telling a story. Okay, so you see a constellation. Okay, that's the house, that's the hotel, that's the city that the energy is. This is the archetype. Archetypes are ancient. It's encoded in our DNA, these archetypes. So if you can tune in to that archetype, the planet is going to move through that. And what would Venus look like if she was coming into the city of Sag? What would she look like? How would she behave there? What would she do while she was there? Get to know this planet like it's you, because inside of you is the archetype of every single planet. Because you are the sun, you are the moon, you are Earth, you are Mercury, you are Venus, you are Jupiter, all of it. You're all of it. You're all of it. And so when that part of you moves through that city in the sky, what is that message for you? And then you just start to speak it. And that's that's what you're doing. You're channeling that message from that star and that planet and that set of archetypal energy. So yeah, beautiful.
It
Magical.
is beautiful. It is magical. Like, I don't know. I just couldn't imagine doing anything else, with my life, dedicating it to learning this, because it is a rabbit hole you get to fall down over and over and over again. One of I think the hardest lessons for anybody to learn is to trust their intuition. That's been one of the hardest things for me to learn, and you feel guilty, when
Like, did I get that right? Did I lead them astray?
Yeah. So yeah, I love that you teach that, Danny. I love that you brought that up, just to like trust your own intuition. Like,
you have to learn to love your voice too.
Yeah.
When you're speaking astrology,
absolutely.
you have to learn to be okay with whatever comes out, because and it's so funny. There is actually, like, you can do brain imaging on people when they're just reading something and repeating it to you. There's just all that's activated are the speech centers and the memory centers. But when someone is actually channeling for you, there is the listening center is also on while you're talking. It's I forgot what side of the brain it's called, Wernicke's area or whatever, and it lights up. So when you're actually speaking, channeling, bringing in information through, you're not just sort of reading and speaking, you're listening and reading and speaking at the same time. And there's brain scans to prove it. So it's actually a natural phenomenon. So it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. I love it when it all comes together.
I know. I'm hoping we can bridge spirituality with science again, because they really are the same thing. Like, I don't know how we got off track. Science was like, nope, it's real. You got to be able to touch it. You got to see. Like, I don't know what their standards were.
Right.
It's just like, no matter what, you couldn't like infuse any spirituality into it in the last 2,000 years. And like, look what happened, guys.
I think it's happening.
Yes,
quantum physics is
starting
changing everything. At this point, you can't explain any part of existence without consciousness.
Those ancient philosophers were all correct. The mind is all, and all is mind.
Yeah.
And we're creating every part of it, even the archetypes, even the sky above us.
Just like 20 years ago, they were making fun of that. So, and now look at us. Now we have a professional organization. Yes. And we have a big event coming up on Saturday, the 27th, the end of this month. It'll be at, I think it's like 9 a.m. Central Time. It would be 10 a.m. Eastern. I believe. Do I have my time?
All of the information is at siderealinternational.com.org.net. One version of those that'll get it to you. I don't know if Dr. Danny has a link in the description, but you guys,
I'm going to share the website. We're going to share the website so people can see it.
Yeah, it's on every page. There's a link to register. We're giving away free prizes. We have a lot of cool stuff.
So definitely you have to be there to.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm giving away a coupon to one of my courses.
Yeah.
So if you guys come and watch me talk.
Oh yeah.
That'll take you. That link will take you to the Zoom registration. There's also a detailed breakdown on the event page up there at the top. It'll tell you exactly when all of the speakers are.
Yep, it's right
be up there.
Let's go into the event. Here we go.
That one will take you to the Zoom registration. Go back to up in the header where it says events.
There we go. All right, cool. Here we go.
Yeah. It has all of our panels. It's going to be cool. There's not been anything like this in the Sidereal astrology community as far as I am aware. So, and this is just the beginning. Now, we only started putting this together over the last 2 months, but we're going to have a full year to get it together for next year, which means we may be able to do multiple days. We may be able to,
in person.
Eventually, we want to be able to do a hybrid in person and, do live stream. So that's going to be cool. So yeah, you guys be a part of it. It is interactive Q&A with all of our speakers and our panelists. And really, we want to hear from the community. Like, it's not about us. We, all three of us on this call right now, we can do our own thing. We don't have to do it. Like, it's for the community.
We do it because we love it.
Yeah. Trying to build something, trying to bring sidereal astrology to the mainstream. It's already happening, you guys. It's well on its way. It's gonna.
I saw the New York Times article. Did you
Yeah.
all see that? Yeah, you have to subscribe to New York Times to read.
Yeah. Somebody, I think it was I don't know who it was. You'll have to forgive me. Somebody linked to it in the description too. So I think it was Look Up Astrology.
I had just seen that article, I believe yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, but I was jaw dropped. I was like, oh, this is the beginning. Yeah. Well, we talk about the history of astrology. We need to start putting together data sets. We need to start, I panic. I'm like, oh my God, I got to do all of this. And I think I got to do it by myself, so I got to calm down. I get too excited.
Yeah. It's the time to help each other and to bring all our talents together. Yeah.
It is. It's a very amazing opening to start something incredibly long lasting. So I'm excited.
Me too.
Me too. Yeah. I am going to talk about the Phoenix angle. Do you guys know about that?
A little bit, but it was a long time ago when I watched the video that you made about it.
Yeah, so
it had been some time.
It's based on Venus. So Venus is the one who sort of got me into, because there's a lot of numerology and patterns behind Venus, and I'm a numberphile and a polymath, and I love all that stuff. And one of my subscribers said, Dr. Danny, did you know that there is a golden angle in a circle? And I was like, okay, yeah. All right, let me look at this. And the ratio of the arc distances of the circle, so one will be this long and the other one will be this long. The ratio between those arc distances is 1.618. And the angle that it creates, so you know how a square creates a 90-degree angle and a triangle creates a 120-degree angle. This angle is 137.5 degrees, which is the number of the fine structure constant. This is how atoms and stuff decide whether or not they're going to emit, absorb, or project a photon. It's associated with that. It shows up everywhere. It is the constant of constants. And so for this angle to show up, like using pi, the circle, and phi, the golden ratio, was just, okay, so this is an angle. What does this mean? All right, so now we have a relationship between two planets that is the fine structure constant based on pi and phi. What does that mean? So I've been analyzing cycles and trying to figure out when these angles happen and what's happening to me. And so I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be talking about what that might mean and how we can maybe add that angle and incorporate it into our charts. So you see, guys, astrology is not dead. Astrology is not dead. There's so many places that we can research and go to, let alone just having a new sign, the 13th sign, but also, there's angles we can look at. There's ways we can look at this. And so I'm very excited to share that with all of you. It will definitely be high level, but I want to get people, the purpose of my part of the conversation since I'm last is to get them excited about getting into the knowledge of it and bringing in their other talents into astrology to make it even better.
I love that.
That's what the point of my talk will basically be. So I'll blow your mind, and then I'll say, come research and
I'm
learn.
excited.
And yeah.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, me too. Cool. I'm very excited, Danny. This is going to be a great event.
I can't wait.
I know, me too. I'm excited.
Do you guys want to wrap this up with any last minute thoughts, any directions, any advice you want to give to those who are watching?
I did put just I think April Wall had asked about different constellations in the ancient world. Babylonian Star Lore by Gavin White is not an astrology book. I just want to preface that, but he has probably the most comprehensive map of the Babylonian sky. It does pull from Sumerian sources too. So he's not how do we put this? It is a thick scholarly book. I'm going to show it to you right now. Okay. This guy did his research. He doesn't have doctor in front of his name. So sometimes you might see him getting a little slack, but that's just, academia trying to be gatekeepers and whatnot. But it is phenomenal. Again, it's not going to tell you how to do astrology, but it'll give you a really fantastic starting point for trying to get a better grasp of what was going on in the ancient world.
That's really cool. I love that book, by the way, guys. You have to get it. It's a great reference tool. Yeah, I guess I would like to say that ISAA can't be possible without all of you. So we are looking for volunteers. If you're interested in working with us or contributing at all, just send me a message, send Abby a message, say, hey, I don't know how I can help, but I'd like to be a part of it, because we're always looking for volunteers and people who just want to be involved, just want to help
Get the word out.
sidereal word out. Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
I was thinking we should have a funny meme section on there somewhere, maybe just remembered. I don't know, but like, because there's a lot of cool memes that people are starting to develop, and
Yeah,
I
that's a good
think that's
idea.
a big part, should be a big part of our strategy for bringing awareness to
yeah, I love
to
that.
constellational astrology. And I've always done that. Like I've always stolen those memes that give you the lists and here's your sun and rising dumpster fire. And I'm like, let's add Ophiuchus, so I'll take it into my graphic software and change it. Or memes that are funny that, sort of point to the fact that we're not looking at the sky. I'll always pull those down just to add a bit of humor to it. So I think, and other people are doing it too, which I love. I think it's great.
I think in the future we could add that to our Sidereal Rising journal. We'll be
Okay.
publishing soon, actually.
That's
So,
right. You guys, okay, this is a big deal.
Okay.
It's a huge deal, okay?
All right.
So, we are publishing a quarterly, we're going to call it an academic journal, but there is room for other less stringent writing in there too. But there is not one in recorded history strictly on sidereal astrology as far as we're aware. I mean, Cyril Fagan had some like he put some essays and stuff together. It's not the same thing. This is a collaborative work by all sidereal astrologers. We're taking submissions. The first issue comes out on September 21st. It's basically going to be with the solstices and equinoxes. And they are free PDFs for our members, but we're also going to have print versions for posterity. These are collector's items, you guys. This is the type of thing where, 20 years down the road, you're like, I got the originals. It's a big deal. If you're not super dorky, you may not realize what a big deal it is to have an academic journal for sidereal astrology. It is awesome. Okay, so definitely.
The journals are a big deal. I read the medical journals when they come across my desk for sure.
Yeah. Oh, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
and then you need
excited.
an editor in chief. You need to put it all together. Yeah, all those things need to happen. So
Yes.
the background, guys. I just want you to understand that the background work that these ladies have gone through to put together what they've is huge. Like they're just sitting here saying like it's hard, but these organizations, they're not a joke. Like there's legal, there's financial, there's contracts, there's websites, there's back end stuff to make it all look beautiful for you. And so it takes some work, and that's why they say they're a nonprofit. They do charge for memberships because they have to offset the cost of all of these things that they've done. I know legal counsel is really expensive. Like my attorney charges me $1,000 an hour, so I have to be very careful with the questions that I ask. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a huge stride forward, and the colossalness of what you've done is not unrecognized, at least from my perspective. And so, also, guys, if you're ever a part of Stellar Foundations, you get a 1-year student membership as part of the package too. So
to ISAA.
Yes, to ISAA. So
Yes.
you guys will be student memberships, and you'll probably get this journal, and they'll probably encourage submissions from you. It's a great place to start writing your astrological thoughts and feelings, because it'll be a safe place for you to do that.
Absolutely.
And if you get good feedback, then you shouldn't be afraid. You can jump out in there into the actual world and start speaking your truth.
Yeah, we want to create a platform where astrologers are able to build a portfolio and share their thoughts and share their writings and share their work. Because we just don't have that channel anywhere else. And we need that. We absolutely need that. I don't want to sit and beg Tony from Astrology University to teach at his, because I know that's not going to happen, and we're just going to make it ourselves.
I love it.
Why
I love
not?
it.
Yeah,
I love it.
we're just gonna do
Y'all
it
saved me from
ourselves.
some very awkward conversations.
Oh, trust me, I thought about having those conversations.
Yeah.
I could envision how they were already going to go. So this channel, doing this instead is just so much better for everybody.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, I encourage you guys all to sign up for this meeting. Listen to our first ever conversation as professional astrologers. Those of you that are in Stellar Foundations, at least this last round that you get the membership. Those of you that joined me earlier in the year, you got to do it on your own. But I encourage everyone that is a student to at least do the student membership. If you're already an astrologer and you want to really, really invest in this and help this project and dream along, you can become a founding member too. That's always an opportunity there for you. And your profile will be up there and they'll help you out. So I'm just in love with all of this. And I'm so grateful for you guys to come here on our channel. And I don't know if anybody has any questions. I haven't seen a whole bunch. So if you guys have any questions,
They've been
get in
handling
there
it.
now.
They're on fire in the chat. They're doing
Yeah.
a great job.
Okay, good. Yeah, we have a great community, and I'm excited to expand it and to have you guys part of it as well. So
Yeah, that's so
Cool.
awesome. I'm just reading
Cool.
everything. I can
Yeah.
like, oh wow.
Good.
Everyone's just going.
All right. Well, you guys want to hang back for a second as we close this out,
Yeah.
and then just so I can do a little housekeeping with you for the things that I wanted to set up with you guys. And so I'm going to play an outro real quick, so that a lot of times when you on YouTube they'll throw a commercial in at the end. And so if I don't have a little outro, they'll miss us saying goodbye to each other and all that lovely stuff. So I'll throw that in here at the end. And thank you guys so much for listening and watching. For all of those of you in the chat, please support these ladies in their work. And I look forward to seeing all of you on the 27th when I give my presentation on the Phoenix angle and connecting with those of you that I've known for a while. I'm real excited. So, all right, let me go ahead and we'll put all of us backstage and we'll play the outro and we'll see all of you soon. All right, here we go.